Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. And in today's video, we have a ton of topics as well as content to discuss. Bungie had a new reveal live stream earlier today that showed a whole bunch of stuff that we should expect for Act 2, as well as some sneak preview things for Act 3. Most notably, this new PvP game type called Heavy Metal, where we will in fact actually be able to take over Brigs and go against tanks, or play in tanks and go against Brigs. You will be able to, I guess, pick between one of these two things and see which one is actually the toughest in a new PvP game type. So it is basically Titanfall in D2. I think this is thinking outside the box for Bungie, and I'm actually really glad to see a new PvP game type like this versus something, just an amalgam of other PvP game types that we've had in the past. Still would love to see SRL come back in the future, though, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. So this will be in Heresy Act 3, but we also had some very interesting things as far as PvE activities coming in Act 2 and in Act 3. We have the Court of Blades, which is the new revamped Court of Oryx. I talked about that a little bit more in a previous video, but there was some new details that I thought I would discuss today, as well as Guardian games coming in Act 2. I believe that will start next month, and we will actually have another very similar to Pantheon activity coming in Act 3. So we'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end of the video, but I also wanted to discuss all the daily and weekly reset information, some stuff that you should probably hop on Destiny 2 as soon as possible in order to get or do, and some stuff you might be able to wait on. But if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of the things I just mentioned will also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. When we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away an Xbox Series or a new PlayStation or a video card if you play on PC. You can also stick around till the end of the video for the secret hashtag you can leave in the comments section for another entry into the next giveaway for this video, or you can leave a comment on any of the topics of discussion in the comments section, of course. Always interested to hear all your thoughts. That'll give you another entry, of course, into the next giveaway. Or you can just leave a comment on anything I might have mispronounced in today's video in the comment section. That'll also give you another entry into the next giveaway. So unfortunately this week we do not have Lotus Eater as the featured weapon. We have the Plug 1, and the Nightfall is the Heist Battleground Mars. So not only do we have not the weapon we were hoping for, I'm really waiting to get my hands on Lotus Eater. Bungie is really pushing this off to the last week, but we also don't have a really great Nightfall to farm. Any of the heists or psyops battlegrounds are, in my opinion, just way longer and really diminish the fun of farming out the content. And with a weapon like Plug 1, which has gone through many iterations, I'm sure it's not bad at the moment, but I know it is not currently in its best form, or there are things that are better. I just don't think this is going to be the farm that get people out of bed in order to do a Nightfall, or especially a GM Nightfall for the week. Over in the Crucible, we have a few new game types. We have Relic, as well as Double Clash and Checkmate. For the other one, we have over on our Legends page, we have the Exoitc mission Presage, so if you're looking for Dead Man's Tale. Over on the Moon, we have everyone's favorite AFK farm, the In the Deep. This is the only AFK farm still available in the game for weapons, XP, all different types of stuff. We also have the Duality Dungeon on the Moon as one of our featured dungeons. Over in the Dreaming City, we have the Shattered Throne as our other featured dungeon, and we have the Last Wish Raid as one of our featured raids. And then down on Savathun'S Throne World, we of course have our other featured raid, the Vow of the Disciple, and the Sundered Doctrine dungeon, which apparently is fixed now, as it is showing it should be farmable finally. If anybody was watching last week, apparently there was some issue with the dungeon where you weren't actually able to farm it. It was not just a visual glitch, although it seemed to be a visual glitch for some and not for others. So Over at Eververse in the store this week, Exoitc Cosmetics, we have the Risen from Scrap ornament. Pretty cool looking. A little scary. Not really my thing, but I'm sure somebody will love that one. We also have the disc jockey emote, so you can finally use the emote that I've been using pretty much in every video for the last 2 or 3 years. I get messages all the time asking when I was actually able to get this. I don't know when the last time it was sold was, but it was a long time ago because I would know, specifically me, that that was not sold recently. So now you can go and get that. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be rocking the disc jockey emote. It's always been one of my favorite emotes. It's actually my favorite emote. I mean, like, let's not kid anybody, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of other people's favorites. We have the early warning ornament for, forget which weapon, the Forerunner. And then we have the dig site, Exotic Sparrow. I don't know the name of this particular ship, or at least I'm not going to try to pronounce it, so you can let me know in the comment section down below. And then we have the Hard Light Shell. We have the Disavowed Banner emote. And then we have the Threatening Stance emote. I do also believe that particular ornament for the Forerunner does something to the sight, so sometimes these ornaments do more than just change the look of a weapon. They actually change the functionality of a weapon, and certain ones have been known to increase not the auto aim, but the ability to get headshots just because they do put on a slightly different sight on the weapon. So you might want to check that particular ornament out for Forerunner. Not only does it look cool, but it might actually add a little bit to the weapon's usability or easy ability to use in things like PvP. Over at Banshee 44, we have the Nox Perennial 5. I said it right this time. We have the Nezarac's Whisper. Nox Perennial, also a fully enhanceable weapon out of the box. So these rolls will change eventually. So if you want any of these rolls in their fully enhanceable form, make sure to pick this weapon up today. It should change by tomorrow. We have a Threaded Needle, Killing Wind and Dragonfly. We have a 7th Seraph Saw with Clown Cartridge and Elemental Capacitor. We have a Bad Omens with Tracking Module and Cluster Bomb. And we have a Hollow Denial with Lead from Gold and Swashbuckler. That Bad Omens is sort of a mini Gallahorn, even though it's not an enhanceable weapon. It might still be a worthy pickup. And then as far as reset stuff, we're going to head down to Ada 1. Just check out what shaders she has. And interestingly enough, a couple of the shaders, if I remember correctly from today, as I looked a little bit before I recorded this video, seem to have the exact same look. So I'm not totally sure what that's about. I don't know if this is another visual glitch when it comes to how these things are actually loading, but we have the Dark Amalon shader. We have the Karis Black shader, which is green for some reason. And then we have the Dead Orbit Vision shader, which is also green and looks exactly the same. Very strange. You might have also noticed when you load into the game today, we have Moments of Triumph for 2024 live. So this celebrates things you achieved in the game for last year. So you'll head over to your Triumphs page. Or your journey page. You'll be able to pick up a few cool things. Have a new ghost shell. You can also be able to purchase the limited time t-shirts from Bungie. Looks like a little bit of a samurai ghost shell, which is kind of cool. And now on to a couple other things which I thought were really relevant from today's live stream. I do encourage everybody to go and take a look if you haven't. As I showed earlier, the heavy metal PvP playlist. We also have, as I said, Guardian games coming at the end of this month or the beginning of next month, but they will be in Act 2, not Act 3. So keep on the lookout for that. We'll have a new set of armor. They're doing a gladiator aesthetic in this one. I will say the Titan looks very, very cool. This is also going to be a sort of more, I guess, PvE rush type game type. So similar to maybe what we've been seeing in the Nether. But they are, I guess, making the boss fight element of Guardian Games activities more prevalent now. So I'm not totally sure if it's going to change or how much it's going to change, but they did mention that there will be a change to Guardian Games. And then we have the new activity coming in Act 3, which I think is going to get everybody really excited. We have the Rite of the Nine. Now, the Rite of the Nine sounds like it's also going to be similar to the Court of Blades, which we'll be getting in Act 2, which is essentially the revised version of Court of Oryx. They did show a bit of footage for the new revised Court of Oryx, the Court of Blades, in today's live stream. And it's essentially a Pantheon light in that we'll go to that main area where we used to have Court of Oryx, but now we will go through the teleporter, that, you know, big, call it black hole at the backside of the room, but the big teleporter. And you will be sent to other planets in order to fight a boss. And they actually showed Io coming back in the game clip that they showed today. So we haven't seen Io in quite a while. Well, at least 2 years since it was removed from the game. So sort of interesting to see that back. But that's for the Court of Blades, of course. And like I said, this will sort of be a Pantheon Light where things will get a little bit more difficult as you go and find different bosses in different areas. But that kind of seems almost like a preamble to the Rite of the Nine, which essentially is a bigger version of that. But now, instead of going and just fighting different bosses in different locations, you are going to be going to different dungeons. So in the same way that we had Pantheon, where we would fight different raid bosses in sort of a multi-tiered cycle, we are going to be doing this with dungeons. And there'll be a featured dungeon every week, and the vendor is actually going to be the 9 vendor, so the one you see at the end of Prophecy. And in keeping with that, the Prophecy dungeon will be featured, the Spire of the Watcher dungeon will be featured, as well as the Ghost of the Deep dungeon will be featured. Not my 2 favorite dungeons, although I do really enjoy the Prophecy. And you will also, for the vendor location, be going back to the old location for the Trials of the Nine, I believe. It was the same big area. I'm sure people will recognize it. You'll be able to, I think, curate weapons there. It's going to be pretty cool. And I think doing what we did with Pantheon was a good thing. I'm very sad that we haven't seen Pantheon return. Let me know if you would like to see Pantheon return or if you think it should have never left. But I'm glad that we're going back to that sort of thing and using sort of different aspects of these dungeons and raids, hopefully the raids again in the future, to sort of bring in new people. And the way that they're going to be doing that with the dungeons is there's going to be sort of a low-level introductory way for people who have never done a dungeon before to get into doing a dungeon. It's going to be match-made. Both of the Court of Oryx or the Court of Blades and the new Rite of the Nine will be match-made, I believe, or at least on the lower level. And then, of course, there'll be more difficult ones where at the high level of Rite of the Nine, there will be essentially a lockout version where you will not be able to switch weapons, or you'll be required to at least keep one or the same exotic on you at all times through the course of the whole dungeon. So I think that's going to be pretty cool, as well as having that new PvP heavy metal game type, I think will also be super fun. So lots of cool things coming in Act 2 as well as Act 3. And remember, Act 2 starts next week at Reset. So if there was anything that you were looking to round out for Act 1, make sure to do it this week. It's unfortunate that we are not getting the new sidearm, the Lotus Eater, in Act 1, but it seems like that was by design from Bungie. So that's going to conclude all the information in today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram, as I said before. It'll be linked in the description box down below. If you've watched till this point in the video, you can leave a hashtag The Final Shape or a hashtag Heresy Act 1 or Heresy Act 2 or Heresy Act 3. You could leave a hashtag Heavy Metal or a hashtag Court of Blades or a hashtag Rite of the Nine or Rites of the Nine. I can't remember. Was it Rite of the Nine? Let me just... Rite of the Nine in the comment section down below for another entry into the next giveaway. And once more, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching. Also remember, of course, if there was any topic of discussion that you found interesting, leave that comment down below. That'll also give you another entry into the next giveaway. Or anything I mispronounced. I know there was at least one thing I did in the comment section down below. Have a great week farming the content that you like to your content. And as always, we will see you next time. Little